Welcome to Grammar 4P. In this booklet, we're going to be doing a lot of review. So first, we're going to go over the verb tenses and forms again, and we're also going to go over demonstratives and indefinites. So first, let's just gloss over our verb tenses and forms. It's going to be exactly like what we've been doing and like Grammar 4N and all the previous books in this latter portion of Grammar 4. So we know that each verb tense is a form that expresses the time of the action or state of the verb. We know we're working with regulars and irregulars. And of course, we know that we need to agree the subject and the verb. We have simple tenses, and then we apply them to the different forms we've learned. Of course, we still have the reference material in the back of the book. We have this at the front of the book. Just make sure you're reading the directions, you're making sure you understand what verb we're working with and what conjugation we want you to use. So hopefully nothing too tricky, something familiar and easy. Next, I'm going to introduce demonstrative and indefinite adjectives and pronouns. So demonstrative adjectives and indefinite adjectives, you've already learned back in Grammar 2. So like I said, this should be a review. It should not be anything new. So let's just gloss over this one really quick. Demonstrative adjectives are adjectives that tell which noun is being referred to. It's a very specific those shoes, which we'll get into in a second. Indefinite adjectives are adjectives that describe a general or non-specific amount of a noun. So this first sentence, those shoes are blue, you're picking out a very specific noun, a very specific pair of shoes. You could point to them if you wanted to. Whereas in our next sentence, you see Joe is taking some groceries inside. He's not taking in 2 or 4, 10 or 20. He's just taking in some groceries. So it's just a general, non-specific amount of groceries that he's taking inside. Now we're going to get into demonstrative pronouns. These are very similar. They're essentially pronouns that point out a specific person or specific things. There are only 4 demonstrative pronouns, just like there are only 4 demonstrative adjectives. This, that, those, these. So it is 100% overlap. So the way you tell the difference between a demonstrative pronoun and a demonstrative adjective is you just have to see how the words relate to each other in that sentence. So in this example, we have those are blue. Those is the pronoun referring to something. It's a specific something, but it's being renamed by this demonstrative pronoun. So just make sure you're paying attention to that kind of stuff. Next, we have the indefinite pronouns, and these are pronouns that don't refer to anyone or anything in specific. So it's kind of the opposite of the demonstratives. And of course, we have a long list of common indefinite pronouns. We've got anyone, anything, someone, something, all, most, some, both, everyone, everything, each, none, many, several, few, and much. And of course, I've listed all this out in the explanation, so that should be your red light saying, okay, these are going to be in the book. There are plenty of other indefinite pronouns, plenty of other indefinite adjectives, but these are the ones we're working with in this book. You can see in the sentence, Joe is taking something inside. We don't know what it is. It's not specific, but it's a thing, and it's being taken inside. It's being renamed by the pronoun something. Notice that there are certain indefinite pronouns that could only be pronouns, like something, anyone, everything, etc. But then there are also indefinite pronouns that could be indefinite adjectives, like all, most, some, several, much, etc. So once again, just make sure you're paying attention to how the words relate to each other in the sentence. If you're not sure what a word is, pick out everything else that you know. You know your subject, you know your verb, you've found an adverb, etc., etc., and hopefully that will help you out. Of course, always start with your prepositional phrases. If you're trying to figure out your subject, that will help to really narrow your focus. For sentence diagramming, we're not learning anything new. Just like with the interrogative pronouns and adjectives, indefinites and demonstratives are going to be diagrammed just like any other pronoun and adjective. They're not different or special in any way when it comes to sentence diagramming. So you're just going to put it in the appropriate spot. So really, in this booklet, sentence diagramming is going to be all review, nothing new. So make sure you're referring to previous QR videos if you're unsure as to how to diagram something. Of course, if you're having issues, just go ahead and identify the different parts of that sentence, the subject, the verb, etc., and just take your time. We aren't providing any reference material for sentence diagramming, so it is just straight review, but we do provide the diagrams for you. You don't have to make your own diagram in this booklet. If you have any questions over this or any other grammar booklet, please contact the owner of your Gideon Center or whoever grades your grammar at the Gideon Center.